Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, I'm Roast Shadow Lord, and for today's video, we're going to be reacting to the evolution of Godzilla in movies, with a little bit of history for you guys, since we do have an untitled Godzilla movie coming out in November on Godzilla Day. And with the recent Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire trailer just releasing, there's way too much stuff to talk about. So before we react to this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And let's dive straight into the video. 3, 2, 1, begin.
Godzilla, 1954. The people of Tokyo have many questions.
The very first Godzilla movie in history.
Behemoth emerges from the Pacific to wreak havoc on their town. The origin of this movie depicts Godzilla's fall into insanity and mayhem after an American hydrogen bomb crashes in the Pacific off the coast of Japan, destroying his underwater home. So, Godzilla is ready to lash out at anyone that stands in his way. A fun fact about this movie is that the monster's head was first imagined to be in the form of a mushroom cloud.
A mushroom cloud?
Now, if it were to be the case. King Kong vs. Godzilla, 1962.
Where's Godzilla Raids again?
Crossover films in history, as well as one of the highest grossing Japanese films. The main character of the film is a greedy publicist who uses King Kong as bait to try and sell more pharmaceutical advertisements on television.
The very first one before Godzilla vs. Kong, when these two fought.
To the mainland. Watch this classic to find out who wins. Also, did you know that the pricey yak...
I will say, the 1962 King Kong kinda looks ugly, not gonna lie.
Godzilla vs. Mothra, 1964. An archaeological research team travels to Infant Island in this part, a biome populated by tiny people with cosmic talents, to seek assistance as the world is on the verge of a catastrophic
A lot of the Godzilla suits has changed so much over the years.
On Earth, he joins the fight against the monster. A fun fact about this movie is that it had the largest attendance of all Godzilla films at the time.
Oh, okay.
King Kong vs. Godzilla 1962, which sold roughly 12 million tickets.
Whoa.
Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, 1966.
Okay, you skip Invasion of Astro Monster and Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster.
Boat that capsizes on Lecce Island, where terrorists have imprisoned the inhabitants of Infant Island. Thus, they decide to awaken Godzilla after spotting.
I thought this movie, it was alright in some kind of weird way. But it's not the best. There are other movies that are better than it.
A South Seas native tribe, and the last Toho movie to feature the people that call Mothra's home island, Infant Island, their home. Son of Godzilla, 1967.
Oh, Son of Godzilla with Manila.
Moments amid all the battles to give birth to an heir. That's right. In this film, mantises unearth a mystery egg which, when it hatches, reveals Manila, Godzilla's baby. As it portrays Godzilla in a more comical and paternal way, this movie is
that Godzilla looks ugly.
Surprisingly, when this film was released on home video in Italy in the 1970s, it was used as a sequel to the 1961 British monster film Gorgo.
Okay.
Godzilla vs. Hedorah, 1971. Japan is once again under siege in this Godzilla.
Okay, I feel like they're skipping a lot of Godzilla movies, but understandable for the Showa era, because there was a lot. But anyway, back to it.
This hazardous threat is spewing, make it unlikely that either Godzilla or civilization will be able to
the goofiest Godzilla.
This film is the first and only movie to feature Godzilla flying.
Yeah, he flies in this movie, which is crazy.
Godzilla vs. Gigan, 1972. An evil gang of aliens.
Gigan, we recently got the whole Godzilla vs. Gigan Rex thing.
This part, which is when things start to get a little bit supernatural.
Which I thought was cool in its own weird way.
A message is found on tape. A manga artist
and I loved it.
His employers. Not to mention that although this movie was produced and distributed in Japan as a matinee for kids, the obscenity and violence in it earned it a
360. Nah,
when it was screened
just joking.
on US television. Terror of Mecha Godzilla, 1975. Featuring a
you missed, well, it would have been the last, I'm not gonna, there's a lot of movies being skipped, but
causes other aliens to begin a counterattack by
the last Godzilla movie in the Showa era
This film, like Destroy All Monsters, is packed with action. The fact that this is not just the final Godzilla movie directed by Ishiro Honda, but also the last time Godzilla is portrayed as a hero until Godzilla Final Wars.
Yeah, for a long time he was a straight-up villain again. Well, kind of.
The Return of Godzilla.
Yes, the Heisei era.
Dominated popular culture for 3 decades.
I love all movies in the Heisei era. Very entertaining series.
Grappled with how to restore the reputation of the enormous reptile. So they ultimately decided on a complete reboot that acted as a follow-up to the 1954 film, which meant that Godzilla was back, bigger and more dangerous than ever. Not to mention, this is the first Godzilla movie to feature closing credits in its original Japanese language.
Okay.
Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989.
Yes, I love this movie.
This centers on a depressed geneticist who produces a monster new mutation as a result of losing his daughter. He is humiliated after the scientific community questions his science.
I would love to see Biollante in a future movie or story. Imagine if Biollante was in the Monsterverse.
Versus Reptile. Also, this movie stated a total of a $10.7
and I have to say, I think out of the Heisei era films, Godzilla vs. Biollante is probably my favorite one.
At the time, as well as the most expensive Godzilla movie created up to that date. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah.
Yep, here we go.
In the movie, time travelers from 2204 visit present-day Japan in 1991.
Yeah, Godzilla, Heisei era Godzilla's a dinosaur in this series.
Try to stop Godzilla now,
that mutates in Heisei era Godzilla, so.
Nuclear energy. But all you need to know is that this time the travel-heavy film does feature a fantastic battle between Godzilla and Mecha King Ghidorah in the sea, making it anything but simple. Oh, and to further enhance the credibility of the bleeding effects, actual octopus blood was used.
Really?
Mothra vs. Godzilla, 1992.
Alright.
Based around greedy businessmen taking possession of Mothra's egg as it washes up on the shore, refusing to give it back.
I thought this one was good in its own way. It's kind of a little bit focused on Mothra more. This kind of felt like a Mothra movie.
When Godzilla emerges close to Nagoya. Not to forget that except for the Frontier missile
Speaking of Mothra, there she is.
Godzilla movie not to have significant
beautiful. Look at those beautiful wings.
Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2.
The rematch between Godzilla and his robotic doppelganger.
Godzilla Countermeasures Center to create Mechagodzilla.
Rodan was in this one too.
Device they call, as they are still recovering from the wars between Godzilla, Mothra, and Ghidorah from the previous part. As a result, anarchy reigns supreme when Godzilla.
I feel like Super Mecha Godzilla is underrated because a lot of people don't really like his design.
If doing so will result in his being killed by a massive mechanical machine. Not to mention, this movie features the highest Godzilla screen time of any in the franchise, accounting for over 20%
I did not know that.
Of the total running length. Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla.
Ooh.
In the narrative of the film, a Space Godzilla is created as a result of
Space Godzilla
and an inexplicable space phenomenon. Godzilla then intervenes to defend baby Godzilla and the inhabitants of Earth when the Space
Godzilla Jr.
to harm them. Also, commending its 40th
I love Space Godzilla. I just love the way he looks.
Tim Burton reportedly informed the authors of a 2019 Japanese.
I would love to see Space Godzilla in another movie as well.
This was his favorite Godzilla movie. Well, now you know. Godzilla vs. Destoroyah.
There's Burning Godzilla.
After being struck by a uranium explosion,
Destroyer's another cool monster too. That's the thing. Destroyer, Space Godzilla, Biollante, I would love to see them in a future Monsterverse movie.
Aqua line is undergoing fresh construction, which causes a frightening reawakening of mutant crabs with the ability to
There's Destroyer.
One enormous creature known as Destoroyah. Just another day for Godzilla, right?
Yep.
Also, this movie, along with
this is the second movie where Godzilla actually dies, and it gets a little bit heartbreaking at the ending of this film.
Godzilla, 1998.
I like the design, I like this movie, but in my opinion, this isn't that's not Godzilla, that's Zilla.
Juggernaut Roland Emmerich directed the star-studded production, which was overseen by actor Matthew
It
Broderick.
is a good film. It's not a terrible monster movie
Additionally,
in its own way.
Genesis tale in which a nest of lizards was accidentally mutated.
Yeah, Godzilla's an iguana, a mutated iguana in this one.
Wrong. Not to mention, the movie utilized enough paint to cover the whole Golden Gate Bridge.
Really?
That's right. On the other hand, the cast and crew of this film ordered "It's Gojira, you moron" t-shirts for fun. Godzilla 2000 Millennium.
We're in the Millennium series.
The Toho business once more went back to the fundamentals of the monster brand after a string of underwhelming film reviews. So, for this particular project, they introduced the Millennium series as part of this new strategy, emphasizing standalone movies over overlapping continuity.
Godzilla 2000, I gotta say, that atomic breath that he's got,
standing apart from the 40
ferocious.
that came before it. The story of this part revolves around an alien race that once
there's Orga.
Godzilla's DNA's regenerating abilities to become immortal and conquer the entire planet. Godzilla vs. Megaguirus 2000. The second film in the Millennium series centers on an artificial black hole technology that goes awry.
I will say, if you like Godzilla destroying bugs, this is probably the film you like. That may be. Although if you are scared of bugs or something like that, it might not be a good film for you.
Dragonflies known as Meganula. More competition for Godzilla, right? Also, did you know that Toho continues to use actors from their science fiction movies from the 1950s and 1960s in their casting in this part as well?
Really?
Yuriko Hoshi, who had previously portrayed Yoka in Mothra vs. Godzilla, plays Yoshina Yoshizawa in this sequel. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla.
Aw, come on, you skip giant monsters all out attack? Why? I love GMK, it's a good movie.
Godzilla, which is controlled by a person inside the machine.
But, oh well.
The Godzilla movie provides the basis for the previous movies. However, this one claims that Godzilla is still alive since his bone bits have survived. Basically a win-win situation for the audience. Interestingly, director Tezuka intended to include a moment when Yumiko Shaku, who plays the lead role, swims past the camera up close while wearing a swimsuit. He regrets leaving it out to this day.
Wow.
Yep, that's right. Godzilla, Tokyo SOS.
The sequel.
2003. The first
2000 came out in 2003, the same year I was born.
The sequel to the one before it is the fifth installment. After facing Godzilla the year before, the Mechagodzilla robot is upgraded and repaired in this film. But will humanity act morally when Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, and Mothra continue their conflict? A quick fact check reveals that the movie is
this is probably the only time Mechagodzilla and Mothra actually team up. There's Kiryu.
Sequel to Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 3, 2002. Godzilla Final Wars.
Final Wars.
The sixth and last tale in the Millennium series was portrayed.
Came out on the 50th anniversary of the franchise.
The movie is packed with action, monsters, and mayhem.
Yep.
It was released to coincide with the Godzilla franchise's 50th anniversary.
Told you.
Although the movie officially doesn't seem to be connected to the original 1954 movie,
this is more of an Avengers-like style, kind of Avengers Endgame, but with giant monsters.
Was mostly an ally. Here,
before Avengers were invented.
To harm people in order to safeguard the greater good. Godzilla,
yes, 2014.
Godzilla is prepared to wreak
my favorite Godzilla of all time.
Another American remake of the classic. Godzilla, a godlike creature, is the only ally to mankind in this
series,
the
roar.
And is thought to aid in defending Earth against other hazardous monsters. This one is a jam-packed action movie. And a fantastic place to start if you're seeking for a Godzilla entry.
Yes, highly recommend it. Really good movie.
Cinematographer Seamus McGarvey unintentionally visited the lakeside set of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes because he resembled this one quite a bit. Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla.
This was another good one.
Godzilla Resurgence was released by the Toho company.
It's technically like a modern remake of the 1954 a little bit.
Godzilla Final Wars. After nuclear waste leaks into Tokyo.
Although I will say, I'm really disappointed they didn't make a sequel to this.
Godzilla origin story adopts a sort of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles style. It's worth noting that Hideaki Anno, the director, originally planned to incorporate a family drama and a romance subplot in the film. Would have been fun if that were to be the case.
Maybe, but not. I still like the film the way it is.
King of the Monsters, 2019.
Here we go.
Given how many times the Godzilla property has been remade, it is impressive that this is the first direct sequel to an American
the other MonsterVerse films are good, and I still enjoy them, but I still prefer 2014 just a little bit more.
Godzilla and the U.S. military, and takes it to Antarctica as the monster battles newly arrived titans King Ghidorah and Rodan. An interesting fact about this film is that Godzilla is regarded as more of an amphibian than a real reptile because he can breathe using both his lungs and gills. Godzilla vs. Kong.
Here we go, the big showdown.
The 36th installment, Kong Skull Island, serves as a sequel to both the 2014 and 2019 Godzilla films, as well as the 2017 King Kong reboot. It is directed by your next Adam Wingard. The two monsters engage in a battle of epic dimensions that must be seen.
This is a really good modern version of King Kong vs. Godzilla. Really good fights.
What's more, where will Godzilla
you got Mecha Godzilla.
Recent installment in one of the longest running franchises ever. That we'll have to wait and see. Not to forget, this MonsterVerse movie is the shortest, clocking in at only 115 minutes.
Huh. Well, okay. Well, that out of the way, I think we're going to be ending the video here. Hope you guys did enjoy. Which Godzilla movie is your favorite? Leave it down in the comments. But with that out of the way, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!